Welcome to History Moments with Mark and Vivian, the show where we make ancient history feel like it happened last yesterday. I'm Mark, your friendly guide through the dusty corridors of time.
And I'm Vivian. I'm here to make sure Mark doesn't get lost in those corridors. Welcome to our show, everyone.
Ancient Greek art seems like a dusty topic for museums, but what if I told you it sparked one of humanity's first creative revolutions, transforming not just art, but how entire civilizations express themselves?
That's such a fascinating way to look at it, especially considering how this artistic revolution came right after the Persian Wars. The timing really wasn't coincidental, was it?
Well, you know what's remarkable about those victories at Marathon and Salamis? They didn't just save Greece, they completely transformed how Greeks saw themselves. Suddenly, these artists who had been following rigid ancient rules felt free to experiment and create something entirely new.
So it was like this perfect storm of cultural confidence and creative freedom. But there were practical factors too, weren't there?
Oh, absolutely. You see, when the Persians occupied Ionia, they accidentally created this massive artistic brain drain. All these skilled Ionian artists fled to mainland Greece, especially Athens, bringing centuries of technical knowledge with them.
That's exactly what makes this period so fascinating. It's like when Silicon Valley got its start from all those tech experts moving to California. But what did they do with all that talent?
Well, here's where it gets really interesting. The Greeks took their war spoils and instead of building more weapons or hoarding gold, they poured it into art and architecture. We're talking about an unprecedented investment in cultural projects.
You know what's amazing about that decision? It completely transformed how future civilizations would think about public art and architecture.
Right? And get this, even though these Greek city-states were often fighting each other, when it came to art, those boundaries just disappeared. An Athenian would happily commission a Spartan artist if they were talented enough.
So if we think about modern equivalents, it would be like New York and Los Angeles setting aside their rivalries to create something beautiful together.
Exactly. And speaking of beautiful creations, let's talk about the Parthenon. You know, recent studies have shown that those subtle curves in the architecture, which look so simple, actually required mathematical precision that would challenge modern computers.
Well, that really challenges our assumptions about ancient technological capabilities, doesn't it?
And here's something that might surprise you. When Athens' political power declined in the 4th century BC, its artistic influence actually grew stronger. The city had become this cultural powerhouse that transcended political boundaries.
That reminds me of how Paris maintained its artistic influence even after France's political power waned. But what happened to all these masterpieces?
That's where things get complicated. You see, most of what we know about these works comes from Roman copies and written descriptions. It's like trying to understand a Van Gogh through a black and white photograph.
So we're really looking at echoes of echoes. That must make studying this period incredibly challenging.
Well, modern archaeology keeps making fascinating discoveries. Just last year, they found new fragments of Parthenon sculptures that are helping us understand the original coloring. Turns out these weren't the pristine white monuments we imagine, but vibrant, colorful works.
That's such a mind-blowing detail about ancient art that most people don't realize. How does this change our understanding of the period?
You know, it completely transforms how we think about Greek aesthetic sensibilities. These weren't just people obsessed with form and proportion. They understood the emotional impact of color in ways we're just beginning to appreciate.
Looking at the bigger picture, what do you think this tells us about how societies foster artistic innovation?
Well, when you examine the evidence, it suggests three key factors: cultural confidence, material resources, and most importantly, the freedom to break from tradition. The Greeks had all three, and that's why their art still influences us today.
That really makes you think about what conditions we need to create similar artistic revolutions in our own time.
And that's really the lasting legacy of this period. It shows us that when a society values creativity and gives artists the freedom to innovate, the results can echo through millennia. Even now, we're still learning from what those ancient Greeks achieved.
You know what's truly remarkable? How their artistic principles still shape everything from modern architecture to digital design.
Well, that brings us full circle. From ancient Greece to today's creative industries, it just shows how some principles of human creativity are truly timeless. And will the future tell? Thank you for hanging out with us on History Moments with Mark and Vivian. We love taking you on these little trips through time. No time machine, no textbook, just your curiosity. If you enjoyed today's journey, be sure to follow our podcasts so you can join us for every new adventure into the past, from famous legends to the stories nobody told you in school.
And if this episode made you smile, think, or say, "I never knew that," go ahead and share it with a friend. We'll be back with more stories, more laughs, and plenty of fun facts your history teacher either forgot or didn't dare to mention. Until the next episode, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep exploring the world with us.